and welcome to the Butler Collegian Newscast. I'm Eva Hallman.
And I'm Jade Eilers. Welcome back to another studio newscast. Eva and I will talk about everything news happening on campus. Maeve will be in the sports corner, and then Rachel sits down with the new opinion editor for the Collegian.
We've got lots to cover today, so let's get started.
Do you want to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but have been scrambling for where to do that? Well, we have the club for you. The Breakfast Club is a discussion that happens every Thursday morning at the Diversity Center to have a discussion about DEI-based topics. The club was started by senior Jack Deason. This Thursday's Breakfast Club will be at 7:30 in the morning. They will be talking about the power of representation. This discussion space is open to any and all students. If you have questions, want more information, or want to be added to the email list, email jdeason@butler.edu.
It's almost November, so that means the midterm election is almost here. In the Indiana Senate race, Democrat Tom McDermott and Republican incumbent Todd Young are in a tight race, followed by Libertarian James Senack. Nationwide, Senate seats, state positions, and local offices are up for grabs, with many hot topics such as abortion rights hinging on the results of this election. Be sure to get your absentee ballot if you are out of state or out of county. If you're an Indy native, check out vote.indy.gov for polling locations. Your votes matter, Bulldogs.
This Saturday in the Irvington Community Room, Butler's Eco Reps will be hosting a clothing swap. The swap will be from noon to 4 and is welcome to any Butler student. According to a member of Eco Reps, the clothing swap last year was successful, but they are hoping for an even bigger turnout this year. The items you should bring are jeans, jackets, shirts, shoes, sweaters, and sweatshirts. For more information, check out @ecoreps.butler on Instagram.
'Tis the season for advising as students and staff prepare for the upcoming spring academic semester. Starting next week, students can start choosing classes for next semester. Before picking classes, students must begin checking in with their academic advisors. For details on your advising appointments or to see when you sign up for classes, check out your My Butler account under the Self-Student homepage via the Student Center.
The Butler sorority Tri Delta and fraternity Sigma Nu are hosting their philanthropy weeks. Both Greek organizations will have fundraising activities all week to raise money for their philanthropies. Tri Delta's Philanthropy Week is for raising money for childhood cancer through St. Jude's Hospital. Sigma Nu's Philanthropy Week is for raising money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. To learn about when and where these philanthropic events will take place, keep up with @Butler Tri Delta and @Butler Sigma Nu on Instagram.
With the holiday season right around the corner, Jordan College of the Arts and Butler Arts and Events have a multitude of upcoming events for everyone. Shows such as Dirty Dancing in Concert on November 7th, the Duckwell Artist Series on November 8th, JCA Signature Series on November 14th, Disney's Aladdin the Musical from November 16th through the 20th, and so much more. Check out events.butler.edu for the full list of events coming to Butler this November.
That's all of the announcements that we have for today.
Now let's send it over to Maeve Van Etten in the Sports Corner for an update on the latest from the Butler Athletics.
Thanks, guys. Butler Athletics have been very busy, with fall seasons coming to a close and winter seasons getting ready to begin. So let's jump right in. Homecoming was this past weekend, and along with that came a win for Butler football. The Dogs faced Marist at home and dominated with a score of 31-10, putting them at 5-2 on the season. Joey Succi led the offense with 3 touchdowns, totaling to 84 yards on 16 carries. Butler was able to shut out Marist in the second half and outscore them 21-0. Other key players included quarterback Brett Bushka with 169 yards and Kwesi K. Forger with 1 touchdown. Women's soccer held their last home game of the season versus Georgetown that ended with a tie. The Dogs held the Hoyas 2-1 until the last minute of the game, where Georgetown scored their second goal. Talia Sommer and Abigail Isker were responsible for Butler's goals, and they both received honors from the Big East. Sommer was recognized as the Big East Freshman of the Week, and Isker received Offensive Player of the Week. This win would have secured Butler's spot in the Big East tournament, so now they will have to wait until the final standings are released to see if they have earned a spot. The men's soccer team, on the other hand, defeated St. John's at home on Saturday night for senior night. St. John's scored the first goal of the game on a penalty kick, but Butler quickly responded by scoring 2 more goals, both by Jack Strieberger. Gabriel Georgi had 5 saves for the night, which puts him at 49 for the season. It was a great night for the Dogs and a great way to celebrate 10 senior players on the team. And lastly, our women's volleyball team played in 2 successful road games this past weekend. The team first shut out UConn 3-0 in Connecticut, then traveled to Providence where they won 3-1. Mariah Grunzy led the way on Friday night with 10 kills and 2 blocks, while Amita Shackelford had a great performance on Saturday with 14 kills and 2 blocks. It's a busy week and an even busier weekend for Butler sports, but an exciting one as some teams enter their postseason runs while men's basketball starts their season with an exhibition game against Tiffin. Lots to look forward to this week, and that's all I've got for this week in the Sports Corner. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Maeve. Good luck to all of our Butler teams who are playing this week.
Now let's send it over to Rachel, who is bringing us another episode of Meet the Editor.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with opinion co-editor Aiden Gregg to talk about his role as an editor for the Butler Collegian. Thanks for joining us, Aiden.
Thank you for having me.
So my first question to you is, what made you interested in the opinion editor position?
So I really enjoyed my time writing last year as an opinion columnist, and I really appreciated the work that last year's editors, Katie and Caitlin, did, and I just wanted to build on that and step into that role.
Yeah. So what's the difference between reporting and opinion writing?
The big difference, I think, is that you get to, in opinion, you get to say what you're thinking. When you're reporting, you kind of have to, say, this is how this is. In opinion, I can say, this is how this is, and this is what I think about it. And I think that's the big difference.
Yeah, for sure. And do you ever face backlash as an opinion writer?
So I have gotten a little bit of that in the past, and I think that just sort of comes with the territory, Like, when you're saying things on controversial topics, somebody's not going to be happy. You might get an angry email. You might get some angry frat bros coming after you. All of these things have happened, but it's nothing that's unbearable.
Yeah. How do you usually react to that?
Usually they don't have anything productive to say, so I tend to just brush it off. And if it's not any real criticism, I'm generally not too concerned about it. But if it is something that I think warrants looking into, then I'll move on from there. But usually it's just hate.
Yeah. Well, awesome. That's all the questions that I have for you, Aiden. But thanks for joining us. And now let's send it back to our anchors at the desk.
Thanks, Rachel. That's all we have for this week's Butler Collegian Newscast.
To stay up to date with all things news on Butler's campus, visit us online at thebutlercollegian.com or on Twitter at Butler Collegian.
We hope you enjoyed this week's newscast in the studio. We'll be back here next month to bring you more content like this. For the Butler Collegian, I'm Eva Hallman.
And I'm Jade Eilers. Have a great week, dogs.